Coach, I asked you about this in the early period, but I always like to hear any interesting tales from the road, any interesting dinners, weird things like that, flights getting delayed.
Well, you know, we were at a no, never mind. I don't have never mind. I'd be embarrassing to my guys, but it's always interesting out there, it's really a lot of fun, but we might have missed a high school or two, so other than that, we came back and found it, but we probably missed it the first time or two around, and police officer got us on the right, on the right track to where we're supposed to go. Thank the good Lord. But no, not really. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it's a good question.
Just how's Felipe Franks fit in so far, and also what's KJ Jefferson's health status for spring ball?
KJ will be fine for spring ball, and Felipe's done really well. He's moving well. I think he's on progress. He might be a little bit ahead of progress, but we don't feel there'll be any problem with him playing in spring.
Depth of linebackers been an issue the last couple of years, but it looks like you guys went out and addressed that. How good does it feel to have addressed that?
We sit down. I sit down and watch, every player that we're trying to recruit, and the guys rank them. And I tell you, I was really, really excited when I got to sit down with Coach Odom and talk about the guys on the board. And Ryan Rhodes proved that you don't have to have experience at D1 level to be a elite recruiter. And he went out there and we really addressed that linebacker and that D-line positions. And you're right, we needed some numbers and some players at that position a little bit more, and Coach Rhodes addressed that early, and our defensive board, I think we had 13 guys, 14 guys committed early, and so I think that guys want to come in and play for Coach Odom and those guys.
Coach, you had to do your first recruiting class with a very small amount of time. Just what was it like? Was it frustrating for you? And what do you feel like is the future of the early signing period? Do you feel like they might do away with it?
Well, it wasn't frustrating. I just got the head coaching job at Arkansas. I was ecstatic, but it was frustrating whenever we only signed, 6 or 7 guys. I can't remember, 6, 7, maybe I wrote it down. But we had 7 that first go-around. The early signing date, I said it before, I think if you're a new coach, it's tough on you. You have 4 days, 5 days to sign a class, and all depends a little bit on what happened, what happened to the coach before you, if he gets non-retained quite a while from then, and you lose the guys that were committed to you, and then if he gets, if it's a bam situation, you might can hold on to guys a little bit easier. But the early signing period is hard on a new coach, and I think there was 3 or 4 of us in the SEC that were in that same boat. So, but again, when I said it when we went to Georgia, there wasn't that early signing period, and it certainly helped Coach Smart when he was, I'm not speaking for him, but I imagine it helped him, because there wasn't that early signing period.
Sam, you signed players, the whole class from 10 different states, including that Arkansas hotbed of Connecticut. What does that say? Obviously, you got to go outside Arkansas to get enough players for the SEC. And how'd you get a guy from Connecticut? I remember Arkansas had a walk-on snapper from Connecticut. I don't remember a signee from there.
Well, Sam Carter knew him, was the first thing about it. And then a lot of other schools got involved with him after he committed to Arkansas. But, we have a private plane. We can get to all over the place, and just like every other school in the SEC. And the bottom line is we have a lot of coaches from different areas. They know a lot of people. we found out who we liked and tried to get a relationship with them. But I'll be honest, I didn't know that we'd had 10 different states and all that kind of stuff. We was going so fast that we were just trying to get people that we liked, that liked us, and Kyrie's obviously the one you're talking about in Connecticut, and we were really excited to get him, and he's fast, and so I imagine it'll be, I think we're a regional, I told you before, I think we're a regional recruiting university, and I think every year that'll be the case. But this year might have been somewhat a little bit different because we didn't have enough. Well, a lot of the players were gone already before we really could get involved, and then we didn't have the whole year to make the relationships. I'm not making an excuse for where we finished. I'm not. I'm just telling you that I think we're probably a little more regional based in the future.
Coach, you used to be February was a big month for junior day visits and all that stuff. You guys were able to squeeze one in last week, but the calendar's changed. February 29th up until February 29th is a dead period. Do you like that new structure? And also, last time we spoke, you'd mentioned you were trying to get some approval on spring football.
Yeah.
The date for that, has that come about, and do you have a date?
Your first question, well, let's go to spring ball. Spring ball will start on March 16th, and we will go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then we'll go to spring break, and then we'll come back after spring break and have 4 weeks of spring ball going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then to answer your question about February dead period, needed it. As long as everybody's on the same rules, our coaches haven't been off forever, and during the season you're every day. And February, if you could get a Saturday off in February as a coach and find out who your wife is and you remember your kids' names, that'd be awesome. And as long as everybody's doing the same thing, I thought the dead period in February, I think it's a very good rule that the NCAA passed.
You mentioned defensive back as a position of need. Just your impression overall of the guys that you signed?
I think we signed speed. I think we went out and signed some fast people, with some size. So I really impressed with Coach Carter and Coach Odom to go out and be able to get a Kyrie, and a Slusher. We had Miles early, and Nick Turner is a guy. He's one of the first guys I was able to go visit, but they all, Kyrie doesn't have quite the size. He's got the speed, and the other two guys got really good size and really good speed. So, Miles has been here, and man, what a super guy, super kid, work ethic. And to be honest with you, he's really the one of the first, highly recruited guys that said, "I believe in you." So I won't forget that. He got to earn his spot, but I like him because of that.
Darren Turner, when we talked to him in recruiting, Sam was talking about safety or receiver. I see he's listed receiver on the deal. Is that pretty much what he's going to play?
Yeah, that's he was our guy that we feel like he's a wide receiver, and maybe I don't know, maybe the previous staff talked to him about either or, but we haven't. He's a wide receiver. He's got great ball skills, and Coach Stepp's a good receiver coach. He'll get him more polished in his routes and all that, but he has really good ball skills, so got good size.
Tied in last night. Can you discuss him a little bit? And then that only gives you 3 on scholarship, whether you go get another one or not, or do you make any position changes with this class or anybody on the team already?
Well, Colin Sutherland was a kid we knew about. Obviously, I knew about it at Georgia. But his brother, I recruited here for, I don't know, a couple of years. And so I knew the family. You know, I knew the young Colin, but I didn't know this guy, you know, the guy that's rocked up. You know, he was just a kid whenever I was here the first time recruiting. But, you know, he's very physical, runs good routes. You know, we liked him, obviously, or we wouldn't have took him here even though it was late. Is there a possibility we might move some guys? I don't know. You can't. We think the number at tight end should be 5, and we have 3. So something's got to give there. So we either need to get another guy in there in the recruiting because we have a couple scholarships left, or certainly we'll have to explore the opportunity, maybe moving some guys.
Yeah, Sam, the returning quarterbacks were pretty young and inexperienced. How important was it to add a couple guys to that room, then especially add a guy who's got starting experience in the SEC and as you know,
Very.
won a lot of games at Florida?
Very. It's a big deal. I mean, Felipe Franks has proven he can do it in this league and do it at a high level, and it was a huge deal for us. I'm not saying he's going to win a starting spot, but it's a big deal to get him, and it'll allow some of these younger guys, KJ and John, all of them, to compete and give a little bit more time to get game ready. Sir? Yeah, that'd put us at 5. Oh, I'm sorry.
How good was it adding him?
I'm sorry.
How good was it adding him to?
Oh, Malik?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are all excited about that. You know, a guy that can stretch the field with his arm, and I think he ran 10.7 in 100 meters. That's not quite as fast as Coach Odom ran when he was in high school, seriously, but that's fast.
When you look at adding a college transfer, sometimes it's easy because you review the film, but with Draper, didn't have a lot of playing time at Oklahoma. So what was the evaluation process like for him, and what kind of led you to offer him?
Well, we wanted him. Well, first of all, we knew what kind of kid he was. You know, we knew he was a great kid, and we knew he could run. And I mean, we tried to recruit him at Georgia when I was there, so I got to know him and the family. And sometimes it's, sometimes you just have to believe that the high school kid that you were recruiting, or what happened over there at his college. I don't know. We saw enough tape on him playing at Oklahoma that we felt like he could come in here and help us.
You mentioned wanting to do better with your class. When you get a full year, where do you foresee, whether it's the rankings or whatever, where do you foresee in the future where you want this recruiting class to look like, or what do you want it to look like?
Well, I mean, we're the University of Arkansas. I mean, we should be up there with the elite programs in the country in recruiting, and I don't know what we are right now, but we're not up there with the elite guys, and until we get up there, well then, when we do that, we'll come in here, we'll be really happy. But again, I think you have to surround yourself with people that believe that you're at the best program in the country, and I do, and our staff does. And until we get up there with the elite in the recruiting thing, then we have work to do.
Well, I'm waiting for Sam to say good question. My feelings are kind of hurt. Sam, I don't think we've talked to you since you completed your staff. How do you feel about that? And I guess you stayed with pretty close to the budget Hunter gave you.
I did stay close to the budget that he gave me. In the first part, did you ask? Did I?
How do you feel about the staff you were able to, build and attract?
Love them. I mean, I think I said it before, but we got basically whoever we offered. That's called recruiting too. And those feel good, just like getting a recruit. But we're about done now. We're about through with our staff, but a lot of people to hire. There's a lot of people in the building, and but be hard for me to believe that I could be happier with our football staff. It'd be hard for me to believe that.
Has there been a date yet and place for the spring game, whether it's here or Little Rock, and when it's going to be?
Well, obviously it's scheduled at Little Rock. I don't know exactly where that's at right now because we don't know if the NCAA will let us have it over there. If they will, then that's where we're going to play it, and if they won't, then we'll play it back here at home. But we're still waiting on that right now, and that we want to play our game on the 25th of April.
What reports do you have from winter conditioning and just kind of the state of the program right now?
Yeah, Jamil came in, or Coach Walker came in and talked to us the other day about each individual guy along with the position groups, and I tell you, we hit the jackpot with Coach Walker. He's and his staff. I mean, he's not the only one down there, but we've seen them work out. Great energy. We're getting bigger. We're getting stronger. Right now, we're a little more concerned about getting some bulk on our guys, some confidence through the weight room than we are necessarily about as much getting them in shape for spring ball. I think we're going to buy another week in the weight room for size and strength before we head to the conditioning. Now, we're running every day and all those, I mean, not every day, but we're running each week. But usually it's a 4-4 week, 8 of the 8-week period, and we're going to go 5 and 3 this year. We're going to try to get a little bit more size to us and a little bit more confidence.